What's up? It's your boy Rich. Welcome to another episode of Speak On It New York podcast. I'm here with my co-host. Today we got a very special episode for y'all. Today we're talking about mental health. I'm here with these guests.
Hi, my name is Tracy. Hi, my name is Tia. IG, beauty, and the Bible.
You can find me on all social media and the other stars.
All right, so we're going to get started. Star, you got the first question?
Yes. So since we're talking about mental health today, my first question is, how do you think we can work towards reducing the stigma surrounding mental health and promoting open conversations about it?
What is the stigma? Let's identify that. What is the stigma surrounding mental health for us right now?
It has a lot of negative stigma. I feel like a lot of people don't take mental health as serious as they should be until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we feel that we can get more people open to speak their traumas for their mental health and being open to listening and accepting it and supporting people that struggle with mental health?
Have those conversations when you're happy, when you're sad. Find somebody who you trust and have that conversation with them. You have to find somebody to confide in. I think everybody thinks like, oh, you could do it by yourself. You can't.
Right.
People are not meant to be like, they're not meant to just be by themselves. As independent, even the most independent woman, you need to find somebody who you can confide in and confide in them.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
What you think?
I think we just gotta have these conversations. I don't think we gotta put too much pressure on it. I feel like the more we have the conversations, the more people will become more comfortable having the conversations. So
I think a big factor in like the stigma, like the whole negative connotation behind it, we have so many distractions today. We can do so many other things besides focus on our mental health that make us feel better, and it's always temporary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people keep going after the temporary fulfillment rather than picking the root itself. So it's kind of like, we can acknowledge the stigma, but it's kind of like when there are so many distractions and other different like outlets to use instead of just addressing who you are, and you've probably hid from yourself for a very long point in time, it might be hard. Yeah. There are so many distractions. And then talking to someone, a lot of trauma comes from betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with our men and women who feel like that?
Exactly. It's hard to answer because I was actually going to ask that as well. How do you feel social media and technology play a part in mental health issues?
I'm off it. I don't. I hate social media. I hate it. I hate the fact that, you know, like you have that little notifications and it's like 20. I hate to look at it. I like to just log off. My phone it stays very far away from me when I'm sleeping. It does because I was like, I need that moment. When I'm sleeping, I want to sleep. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to hear the ding. And sorry, Mom, if you hit me up, but my phone is on Do Not Disturb at most times when I get home.
That's such a good discipline to have. And I lack that. I'm sorry. I like that. I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and I'll be like, oh shit, somebody's trying to reach me. And then at 4 a.m., that might be when my day starts.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
I also have chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. So I have CPTSD. I was diagnosed with that like early last year. And that kind of caused me to like reevaluate my whole approach to social media.
So I have a question. So do you know what caused that?
My life. See, what people think about like mental health is there's this one moment that just makes someone go down a downward spiral. It could be something as simply getting rejected by your high school crush, and that'll shape your whole perception on who you think you are and your potential for love. Like, that's why there are so many fuckboys, because they got hurt when they were 13, and now they're grown, they're financially stable, they're attractive, and guess what? They still feel like that little 13-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. They can't stay with one girl. They don't even want to think about that, because what if she leaves? What if one day she wants to reject him? What if she sees that insecurity he's masking? You know what I mean? There's so many different ways that rejection, betrayal, mistrust, abuse of all kinds can manifest into someone, and it'll shape who they are. So I don't think it's one specific moment. It's about a buildup of trauma, and they're all unaddressed, and they're all unresolved.
Because the distraction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
I would go back circle. It is because it's like, okay, this girl, she's not giving me the attention I need. I could go to this one. Okay, she's not
that
okay,
easily.
I got another one. Like,
Yo.
and it's horrible. And social media amplifies that. Social media, because it's like all these girls just here. And I don't know how it is for. Well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not even really on social media like that. Like, I have my business social media. That's what I'll use most of the time. I'm not a social media person like that.
But that's the bad part, because you have a business, you have to be on
Yeah,
social
I have to.
media.
Yeah,
So you have
facts.
to deal with it.
But it's like I use it for a whole different reason than what like most people use it to socialize. I don't really use it to socialize. So that's the difference with mine.
I'm currently on a social media like fast. I'm not using it at all. I'll go on like YouTube, but other than that, I feel like I found myself comparing my life a lot to others, especially people I grew up with and like where they are in their life, and I feel like I'm a little behind, but I can't really say I'm behind because I am on my own journey. And you know, everything happens when it's supposed to happen, and there's so many things that have to happen behind the scenes in order for me to get to where I believe I should be. So I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of comparing, I guess.
Can I ask, how long is your fast?
I don't plan on going back, honestly.
Really?
At this point. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I connect more with people off of social media. And then when I am on social media, it feels more forced to make friends, and it doesn't feel as genuine either. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been on there since like maybe November, December, so it's still fresh, but I'm just trying to occupy myself with pouring into myself more.
Right.
You're living
Finding
life.
myself. Yes,
You're living.
You're living in the moment.
yes, exactly that.
I love that.
So my next question: how do you deal with your trauma? Or what are some ways that you?
In the shower before I go to work. While I'm at work in the bathroom.
The ugly cry.
Before I came in the building. And you got an ugly cry too. Heavy on ugly. You know, I think I make myself sad. I like to listen to there's this song. It says, I just want to be sad. I listen to that song and I turn off the lights in the shower. And I literally just ugly cry until I feel better.
Yes.
And it doesn't even have to be anything wrong with me. It's just, I'm just feeling my emotions. You know, I could be happy and I'll cry.
And what do you think about when you're doing that? Because if the song is saying, I just want to be sad, it sounds, are you thinking about like sad memories and sad things?
I actually don't. I feel like I don't spend enough time thinking about the things that I've been through. I spend more time just, you know, trying to get over it. And sometimes that's a problem because got unresolved issues.
Gotta feel it to heal it.
I was just about to say that.
That's so good.
That's
I never
something we
heard
all
that.
have to learn. I feel like when you try to suppress traumas, it's always going to come back up. You're always going to have to face it. You're always going to have to go through those emotions because you're suppressing it. You're not dealing with it. You think you're dealing with it because you're like, listen, I was upset, whatever, cool.
I'm over it.
But you're not.
You're not.
What you're telling yourself is you're over it. But that subconscious mind is still thinking about it. You're still going through the motions of it. So I feel like a way to deal with, how I deal with my traumas is I'm an overthinker. So that's one reason why I can make myself sad at any given moment, because I start overthinking shit and I just start coming up with things, and I'd be like, maybe this is the scenario, and I'd be like, nah, maybe this is, I'll be coming up with mad different shit. But I feel like for me, when it comes to my traumas and the things that I've been through, I try to think about it, but then in the same breath, I try to say to myself, if I was put in this predicament again, what would I do differently to not go back through this again? How would I move differently? How would I think differently? What choices did I make that led me up to this point? Not saying that I'm blaming myself, but in the sense of how can I turn this trauma into a lesson so that I never go through this again? Or I never put myself in this predicament, or I know how to move smarter, or I know how to deal with it, or I know how to get past it. So that's really how I deal with my traumas. I cry too. I have moments where I be trying not to cry. Like I be saying that, like, why are you trying to cry? You about to get your period? What's going on? You ovulating, girl? What's wrong?
The week before,
Checking it, period checker app. Shit.
supposed to be a third.
How about you, Icy? How do you deal with your traumas?
How I addressed my traumas, like I had phases. We all had phases, right? We're young women, we're angry. That might manifest as like maybe we'll be more aggressive at school.
Right.
Maybe we'll be more aggressive in the streets. That's
Right.
when I first started to address my traumas and I realized I was hurt. And I'm like, I'm hurt. My family doesn't care. My friends don't care. My school system doesn't care.
What can let
Somebody
me
gotta
ask?
feel this. Somebody gotta feel this.
Right. What-
So
Do you think it was a moment that made you realize that?
I think it becomes when you stop not being a child, but you stop pouring your childlike purity over things that simply aren't pure.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
I felt that.
I completely felt that.
Because a lot of people, when there's an innocent child and they think they're not aware, they'll pull a wool over their eyes and they'll have fun with them. So I think addressing my traumas, it came in phases. I was outrightly aggressive in my teen years. I actually went to jail. I got a track record. Like, it's long. It's so fucking long.
Damn.
Yes. Disowned by my family. I'm the baby of my family and I'm the worst. Like, I was the worst. If you ask them, I'm still the worst. Because I was able to nip the root in the butt and say, I see you guys for who you are.
Yeah.
Do you want to change with me? No. Okay.
Exactly.
So you don't speak to
Okay.
you don't speak to any of them now?
So recently, my mom had a stroke. And that compelled her. Don't be sorry. She's evil. It compelled
But
her
you can't.
to use her last dying breath to be like, hey, I might pass away. Do you want to see me? No, I don't. But I need you to know I love you. I forgive you. And I will be there when you pass away in the event that you do pass away. She did not pass away. She's okay. That story was to invigorate a feeling of you can get over the trauma without letting the person have access to you.
Right.
Because a lot of people, what they will do is they'll either put you into a corner, make you feel guilt, shame, or pain again to have that access to you. And I feel like with the 15 years of self-work that I've done to get away from my family, to start my own life, to pave my own lane, and to actually talk about it and laugh about it, that's real. That's so real. So I like addressing traumas now straight on.
Right.
Straight on. I rip the bandage off. Let me see the damage. Let me analyze. Let me assess. And then I could get right with it. That's how I like to get it down now. But talk to me 10 years ago, we could get it on. And I don't even know what I feel right now. I just need to let it out.
Right.
So, yeah.
So do you think you would ever forgive your mother?
I definitely have. But as far
I mean, like, tell her.
Like, tell her to her face.
Tell her that you forgive her for everything.
If she needs that from me, I would definitely give it to her.
But why does she have to need it?
Because I don't need it. I don't need it. I've been able to recognize that she's not only my mom, she's someone's daughter. She's someone's cousin. She was someone's lover. She was someone's wife. She's still her own person in this present moment.
Right.
I can't take that away from her. She still has unresolved traumas.
Exactly.
Which made her show up like that for me. I can't hold any kind of ill will against my mom, but if she was to need that from me, I would deliver it.
Felt that on a personal level. What advice would you give to somebody that you feel is struggling with mental health but hesitant to seek help?
I would give. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I would give them a hug. There's no words, because there's no words that you can say. Just like, come, just give me a hug, cry on my shoulder. Like, I got you. You know, if you ever want to talk, just come. You know, like you don't have to do it right now. You're gonna need it, but you don't need to do it right now. But we're gonna get through this together.
Right.
How about you, Naya?
I'm thinking.
I feel like if you want to work on your mental health and you're kind of like scared, sit with that feeling of fear Like, you got to sit with it. Like,
Right.
you got to sit with yourself and be like, what am I scared of?
Mm-hmm.
Am I scared of feeling better?
Right.
Am I scared of being happy? Am I scared of the peace that's to come? Am I going to lose what I have now? What do you have now? You got fear.
Right.
And you're trying to evolve that into a better feeling. So I would say sit with your feeling and actually determine in that moment if that's what you want to change or not, to evolve past what you're feeling right there in that moment.
And I think everybody should have a way, like with all the shit that goes on in the world, I think everybody should have a way to just get away from it. Like to just keep yourself grounded.
Right.
Like whether it's like praying or meditating or like talking to somebody, like, because I feel like in the Black community, we look, when we hear therapy, we start thinking like,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, so let's say you just met a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he tells you, oh, I got to go see my therapist. What's the first thing you're going to be thinking? Or how would you react to
90%
that?
of the time, a lot of people are like, this nigga crazy.
That's what most
do
people
you see
probably.
the therapist for? What you got going on? And it could be for the simplest thing that he just needs to talk about his problem. But you can be like, what this nigga got going? He's a serial killer? He gonna try to kill me in my sleep. I don't know if I want to be. But it's true and it's sad. That's a good
But
point though.
yeah, but it's not like people think therapy is
It's a
automatically
bad
you're
thing,
crazy.
yeah.
Sometimes you just need that, like.
Outlet.
You need that
Yeah.
outlet, that safe space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I be feeling luxurious when I'm telling people I talked to my therapist today. They be thinking I got money. I'm like, yeah, I just talked to my therapist today.
So
Because that's the stigma around a therapist as well. They feel like only like uppity people go see a therapist. Like,
That's-
they're the only people with problems.
No, I think that's so terrible. Like,
what do you and your therapist talk about?
so right now, me and my therapist are focusing on my trauma reactions and my trauma responses because I've literally done 15 years of self-work. I can't make this up. Once I got like sentient about who the fuck I was, like, okay, I'm a traumatized girl, I'm hypersexual, I objectify myself more than men do, I'm not happy, I find no peace any fucking where. First thing in the morning, I'm tight. This is not the vibe.
Right.
I had to do a lot of self-work, and it was the smallest thing that could throw my whole day out of balance.
Yeah.
And right now, I could say that focusing on my reactions and my responses to certain interactions, such as this one, because I literally had a moment before I got here, ask him, I'm like, I don't know any of these people, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? He knows me that well to know that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I literally had to like, what did you talk about today? Reactions, responses. Is there anything relative to what you're going to participate in today that could harm you relative like to your past?
Right.
No. That's how fucking real PTSD is.
Yeah.
So fucking real. So I feel like really just focusing on how you react and how you respond. A lot of times you're responding and it's that kid inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know. But because you're an adult and you can assert yourself and we have the power and a lot more, you know, we have a lot less limitations and restrictions for how we can and can react with people. So we're either going to go ape shit or walk away. That's
Right.
pretty much what we call it up to in New York. So that's it. Focusing on the responses, the reactions is what we're focusing on. And I think that's probably what everyone else should focus on too, outside of the trauma itself.
I feel like that ties into a post that I saw that says a lot of people get stuck in the point in their life where they experience certain traumas. So you age, but your mental, your mentality, the way you think, the way you see life, the way you view people and experience is stuck in that time frame where you experience this trauma. And it can be multiple periods of your life in trauma, but you're stuck there because you suppress it. And that goes back to suppressing it and not dealing with your traumas and not, like you said, let me rip this bandage off and feel like, why am I traumatized? Why every time somebody says something to me, I gotta buck up? And even myself, that's the work I had to do. And I always tell people that now, like when people come to me for advice, it's like, listen, every action doesn't need a reaction. Because at the end of the day, you got to start thinking about, if I react to this, how does this domino affect me? What am I getting out of getting angry and responding? This person is getting a reaction out of me that they wanted. I'm not getting nothing out of this. You could be mad. What am I mad for? You're mad. You can tell me that you're mad. Why do I need to get mad back? I wasn't mad. That's how I started to look at certain situations, like even in the workplace and having people not like me for certain things. And my instant response was like, all right, well, if you don't like me, then let's fight. Like, let's get it over with. But I had to really sit down and say to myself, like, what I gained from fighting this person? I don't have no problem with you. I never had a problem with you. You're the one that's upset. So let me find out why you're upset. Why don't you like me? Then you told me why you like me. Okay, me and you are two different people. So you don't have to like me, and that's okay. I don't have to not like you because you don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
That is true. Wow.
We don't never have to experience the same walks of life ever again. You just don't have to like me, and then move on.
The funny thing about doing inner work is naturally those kind of people who weed you out and they don't like you, they are non-existent in your world.
Exactly.
Because you've worked on yourself so much so, you're only going to align with people who think like you.
Exactly.
They heal like you, and they're aware like you.
Yeah.
You're not going to run into people who you've learned the lesson years ago, unless it's, of course, to tempt you, and then you're like, oh shit, let me buck up,
Exactly.
I've been good for a couple years now, let me give her, let me see if I still got it. No.
It's not worth it.
Come on, we can't do that. So I definitely feel like once you do the inner work, you don't even run into those kind of people no more.
You don't.
Like,
you don't even notice them. It's like, okay.
they don't care.
Somebody will tell you didn't see that?
No.
So let's go to
Doing this, so.
let's go to Naya, because I know Naya's very spiritual, so I want to see what you have to say about something like that.
About what? I don't pay them no mind.
How do you feel about her saying, instead of reacting when someone does something to her, she thinks about it and she moves differently?
I mean, I feel like that's what you. I mean.
She being shy. Cause I started the whole spiritual thing like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. Like I really started tapping into my spiritual side. So, and I believe like how you react to certain situations is gonna affect your future. Like if you give a negative reaction towards that person,
Right.
that's gonna bring something negative back in your future.
Yeah. Because people don't understand how karma works. How really karma works. People think karma
Everything is
just,
energy. Everything is energy.
You do this and something's bad. No, a lot of time karma doesn't even really affect you. Karma can affect your kids, your loved ones, anybody close to you. Karma doesn't always happen right away as well. Karma can come down layers on you, like sitting here like, why my hair not growing? Maybe because you're a nasty person, and I don't know. You know, and I said that to be funny to lighten the mood, but I'm just like, it's just an example, because it's like, when you really get on your spiritual journey, and what I learned, and that's really what I was gonna say too, of being in a place of stuck in trauma, because I had a spiritual reading about my personal issues with me and my mother, and the person basically told me the reason why you have so much problems with your mother is because she has her own healing journey that she's on, and she's looking at you from the eyes of her 17-year-old self, where she was traumatized. She's not looking at you in the eyes of the age she is now. Yes, she's your mother. Of course, she's a grown woman. She lived her life. She, doing her big one, business, this, that, and the third. But she still has to heal herself in order to be a better person towards you. And you have to allow her the space to do so, because if not, she will never know how to approach you. She will never know how to talk to you. And if you keep giving her that reaction of every time she's mad over regular, and you keep responding to it, you guys are never going to get to a place of not even forgiveness, but just a place of peacefulness, to be able to just have a conversation without it being defensive, without an argument. You can say the simplest thing and now you're ready to yell and scream about all types of past stuff. So it's like when you really get on that spiritual journey, you really have those conversations, it also changes the outlook on yourself. Because then that's when I started realizing, like, how am I looking at people now? Like, how does this affect how I react to certain things and how I move on my daily life? Because I've been through a lot of shit too, and who knows if I'm really over that? Who knows if I've worked past that? Because I've never really sat and dealt with it, because it was a domino effect of going through this and then having to go through this and then becoming a parent. So I had to keep a strong face because I have a child now, so I got to be strong. So I never really sat and dealt with things. So I'm like, being that I have a kid, it's like, how can I better myself so that I can pass it on to my child in a positive way, so he doesn't have to have his traumas. Of course, as a kid, as a person, as a human being, he's going to
everybody's going to have them.
How can I make it easier to where our relationship isn't traumatic for him? That I can be his safe space, that when he's having his mental issues, he's like, nah, I'm going to call my mom. Like, I need to talk to you about this, whatever it is. So I just feel like mental health becomes a personal journey, and that's how it can affect how you can support somebody else's mental health without saying, oh, I understand, but you don't really understand because I'm not you.
You would never understand.
You can tell me your life story, and I could be like, yeah, girl, I understand, but I could never understand because I'm not you. I'm not you.
And that's why, even the issue with your mother. So I think a lot of times it's easy for us to judge somebody.
Right.
But if you were in her shoes and you went through the same things that she went through to that point, you might have done the same thing.
Exactly.
I can't tell y'all how many times people have misgendered me.
What?
Yes. Because I have so many feminine and masculine attributes to me, and I'm very athletic. Like, I just grew up being hella athletic. So they have a word when you're super feminine and masculine, you're just balanced in your being. One day you could do a short Jada Pinkett cut, next day 40-inch weave. I'm very androgynous.
I was just about to say androgynous.
I'm very androgynous. So I've experienced being misgendered so many times. Oh my God, you a drag queen? No.
So no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we can find out if you want to. We can find out if you want to, but oh my God, I hit it.
All right, so we're going to get back on the mental health topic. So you guys have any questions you want to put out there?
Why is mental health not a part of our programming when we're born? We're taught education should be valued.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught get a job. We're taught a healthy diet, right? That's not even healthy.
It's not even a healthy diet.
So many fucking things in 2024. They're recalling almost everything. So why the fuck hasn't mental health been a part of our original programming as when we were born?
We're programmed to be robots.
I was about to say that.
Bro, and it's not even an exaggeration either.
It is. It's definitely true. It's definitely true.
Get a job, go work, get a paycheck, pay rent, have kids, however kids they may be, pay taxes, get a mortgage if you can't afford to, and die.
For real.
That's it. Anything outside of that, you just on your own. Like that's really just what it is. That's why the cost of living goes up and the wages stay exactly where they are because they don't want it to be affordable. They don't want mental health to become a thing because they need people to be crazy.
Yep.
Because hospitals benefit off of that.
So they want to keep you on a low vibration. That's what it really is.
Yeah, that's what it is. They want to keep people
when they make you scared, the fear and the stress and all of that, that's all going to keep you at a low vibration. Exactly. That's really what they're trying to do.
Like a lot of the time when it comes to depression, I feel like people throw the word depression around a lot. You're not depressed. You're lazy. Let's be for real. And that's not to be mean because I know people that are really depressed. But a lot of times it's like, you got to be for real with yourself. You know, I feel like when it comes to wanting better for yourself, it starts with you. You know, and depression is such a hard thing to overcome, and I dealt with postpartum depression. I've dealt with it. But at the end of the day I decided to get up and really just be like, I don't want to sit at home sad all the time. I don't want to be sitting here wallowing in my sorrows. I had to make that choice. It wasn't my friend took me to the club and I was like, yeah, girl, now I'm good. No, but it's just like you have to, so I feel like if you're that person that's just want to not do nothing with your life and you just want people to pity you, you're not depressed. You're just lazy. You just don't want to do anything. That's just what it is. You just want to be pitied. And I feel like that's a part of the reason why mental health gets such a bad stigma because so many people use mental health to get attention. They use mental health to get pity. They use mental health to get people to be like, oh, you're a victim. Let me coddle you.
How do you know that they're using it for that?
For example, I had a girl that I know. And every time the slightest inconvenience happened in her life, I mean the slightest inconvenience, she was sending text messages to the group chat, yo, I'm about to go jump off the bridge. The girl was never at the bridge. She was never going to jump. The first couple of times, I've dealt with suicide firsthand. My oldest brother committed suicide 8 years ago. I've dealt with it firsthand. So I know that if a person is going to kill themselves, they're not going to be on social media talking about I'm about to kill myself. They're not doing that. If you're going to kill yourself and you're at the point, you're really at that point, you're going to do it. You're going to attempt to do it. You're going to seek help in many different ways, but you're not going to seek help in the sense of you're going to come to people and be like, I'm thinking about killing myself. Because you know that's instantly going to get somebody to be like, what's wrong with you? You're going to seek help in different ways of
I'm going to play devil's advocate, though. Maybe that's what they need, though. Maybe they need somebody to tell them
I get
it's going to be all right.
But you get to a point of
You got your own life.
Not even you have your own life. You get to a point of I'm
Like-
gonna give you that attention. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna be like, what happened to you? What's wrong? Why are you feeling this way? Don't do that. You deserve better. I'm gonna give you that advice, but I'm gonna only say that but so many times.
Because here's the thing, like, I feel like for somebody to say they're gonna kill themselves, they got to be really dealing with a lot of pain.
That's
like,
my point.
And if for us who probably never felt like that or don't feel like that at this time, it's hard to really put yourself in these shoes and say all of this pain. Like it got to be a lot of pain for you to feel like that.
And that's exactly why
And
something like that shouldn't be thrown around. Because I know this person and I know what she was going through. And when I say it's, I'm not gonna put her business out there. But when I say it's the slightest inconvenience, like her best friend didn't text her, so it's like nobody loves me. I'm about to kill myself. And she could have been going through a lot of trauma, but it's like, let's talk about it.
I throw that around when my boyfriend don't text me back. I'll be like, I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna hang it up.
And what does he say? Like, how does he support you?
It's either he'll try to calm me down, like he'll let me know. He'll be like, your PTSD is PTSD.
Right, as he should.
I'm not doing anything. You're okay. I'm okay. I'm literally at work, or I'm literally trying to get sleep for work.
Right.
And it comes down to me having to be like, okay, I'm not where I was. I'm not. I don't have to feel like that.
Let me not revert back.
Yes. So I think it comes into being like self-aware and like you said, not throwing the word around because it takes away from the value it has.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'd rather you tell me I'm hurt.
No one's gonna help you.
Tell me that you're hurt. Tell me that you're offended. Tell me that, you know, say those words, but don't say I'm gonna kill myself because that's such a serious thing, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna, and the thing is, like, I'm gonna take it very seriously. So if that's not really, even if you were on the ledge, I know a girl that used to call herself. Even if you were on the ledge, I'm gonna talk you down, and the best way that I can. Even that means if I gotta distract you, and be like, girl, listen, no, we about to do this. I'm gonna do that, but in the same breath, I feel like when it becomes attention for me, is the constant social media. You going to social media, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're not doing anything to help yourself. You're not doing anything to say I want to seek help. You're not doing anything to find a safe space. Social media cannot be a safe space for mental health. That's just the real for me, and I say that because being a person that's finally getting to a point where I have 14K follower on Instagram, and it got to a point where people be commenting on my videos saying stuff, and I'll be ready to be like, who you talking to? But then I have to be like, these are regular people on social media. Like, why am I letting that get me mad? Why am I letting them get me tight? Why am I giving them that energy to be like, bitch, let me right now. Here's the addy. Like, you feel me? Like, what you mean? Like, why are you commenting my picture getting crazy? Like, I put up a video, and in the video, I'm telling you exactly what I said in the video. I said, I really need to protect my peace this year, so I'm not arguing with anybody I feel like should have been swallowed. God is good. I'm not. That video got 31.8K loves on it, but the people in the comments couldn't get past the part that I said swallow and God in the same sentence.
Because they know.
So everybody's like, yeah, man, stupid. That sounds dumb. Mate, you should have been swallowed. Going like the craziest things, and I was ready to go off, and then I'm like, I don't even know you. We don't never have to meet. You're a social media personality.
Exactly what I'm protecting myself.
That's my point. Like, I was about to argue with you when I said I'm not gonna do that. So it's like, that's why I feel like social media can't be a place. It can be, but the way social media is, it will never be a place that's a safe space for mental health because it's too many opinions, and people don't know how to handle opinions, because as soon as you have a difference of opinion, it triggers something in people that they're like, what you mean I'm wrong? Like, what you mean you don't agree? And it's like, and I feel like that's my thing with people now. It's like, why is it that my difference of opinion offends you? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's your point of view and this is mine. I'm saying that you look at it this way and I look at it that way. Not saying you're wrong and I'm right. It's just we're two separate people. So how I see life may not how you see life. We can be looking at the same situation, but looking at it from two different set of eyes, two different life experiences. We walk two different walks of life. We done seen different things. We done met different people. So how you look at this may not how I look at it. You don't need to be mad though. We can just, like how we're having an open discussion right now. It can just be a disagreement and be like, all right, well, you can even learn from people that way. That's the thing that people don't understand.
That's exactly how you learn. There's no room to learn if you're gonna constantly open your mouth and teach. How are you ever gonna receive new information and you're quote unquote looking to grow?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because you think you know it all, and you don't. This world is a huge place.
So, Icy, I see you have that book in your hand. Can you tell us about that book? What's that?
So got this book August 31st of last year, and this book is helping you to address your shadows, all of your repressed trauma, anything that's literally been done to you that you may have forgotten about. It may have manifested into your personality. Maybe it's still in your daily habits somewhere, some way, culturally, religiously. It's going to attack everything. Like, it helps with mapping out your wounds physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It helps provide different mechanisms as to how you can address your traumas, how you can prepare to address it. Because it's going to be scary to even think about it.
Right.
Going back to your question, how do you get someone who wants to work on their mental health actually work on their mental health? They have to want to. Like, they got to sit with the fear and be like, I don't want to feel like this anymore.
Exactly.
There's so much more out there for me. And I feel like this book is something that's really made it easier because it's tangible. You can feel it. You can flip through it. You're writing it down, and no one can see your information but you.
And that's when it becomes real.
Yes, that's
And
when
going
it
back to
becomes
being
real.
spiritual.
When you
put
write
into
it,
writing,
yep.
it becomes real.
When you write it, it becomes
Feel
real.
it, and then you can go back and you can read it and be like, wow, I felt like this. I went through this. I really experienced, and I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still breathing. I'm still living. I'm still smiling. I'm still laughing. I'm still a person. I can still be a person.
So-
I don't have to wallow.
There are so many different things. Like, for example, she referenced kind of like a desensitized shower. She's in the dark. She's playing her music. She can't hear much. She's hearing the music. She can't see much. She's in the dark.
Right.
She's just feeling. And she's focused on feeling better. That's a perfect example of being in the dark with that darkness, with that dark energy, with that dark feeling, and transforming it.
And turning it into
exactly
A different form of
the
meditation.
feeling that she desires to feel. Like, that's beautiful. That's like one of a bajillion million ways.
That's a way
that
to
you
get
can,
over.
like, heal your traumas. Forgiveness is one. Sensory stuff like showering and really manifesting and releasing, like visualizing that trauma coming out of you as you wash. That's
Right.
perfect. There are so many different things to do. I'm actually starting like physical therapy in 2 weeks for the simple fact I have 22 years worth of trauma in my body.
Right.
So it's very much real. You should work out. You should get that massage. You should take that trip.
Go to the spa.
Go to the spa.
Take care of
Like,
yourself.
Get
take
your
care of
nails
yourself.
done.
Get
Buy
your nails
yourself
done.
lunch.
Meditate. Do yoga. Eat healthy. Like, there are
Whatever
so
makes
many
you
ways
happy
to
and
bring
peaceful.
change
Mhm.
inside of
Yes,
you
yes.
without seeking it externally. You know what I mean? Or with a price attached to it.
And I feel like a lot of people seek in the wrong places.
I
feel
started
like
off like
that's
that.
the
I started
problem
off
as
like
well.
that. But we all started
Like you
off
said,
like
of being
that.
hyper. Like I'm very hypersexual, and I feel like that's something I went through as a teenager as well. And I
Same.
had to like get to a point. Like, it got to a point where like I used to be like, did I even care? Like, was it even necessary? Did I even really need to do this, or was it just because I was projecting? I was trying to project something in my head to make me feel better. I was stripping myself of the trauma when I stripped off my clothes. I feel like that's kind of what it was for me. And it wasn't like I was nude. It wasn't like I was, doing anything crazy. But it's like just even certain things I would post on social media, and I would go back now and be like, delete this. Like, why do you have this on social media? Like, people be talking about how we looked as teenagers. Yes, of course we looked crazy. We were 12. But like, I be going back to stuff like during the pandemic and be like,
You talking about
why
throwing
were
that
you
ass
posting
back and
this? Like, yeah, like I'm talking about sucking dick and all types
Oh
of
my
stuff.
God!
Why
Don't
am
even get me
I
started.
posting
Don't
this?
get me
Like,
started. The To Be Honest post.
Yes,
It's crazy.
Like,
You're
you know
going
it,
crazy
like,
when you get
during
that
the
first,
and you know what's so
like,
crazy,
yeah.
because like during the pandemic, that was such an excuse for me, because it was like it was nothing else to do. So I was having like penis contests and twerk contests and girls chats where girls are sending they pussies, and we doing this and we doing that, we giving them money, and it's all like, it got to a point where it was like people thought I was a prostitute. That's how bad it got. And I wasn't selling coochie. I wasn't a prostitute. But they were like, we just thought you were, because all the girls in the group chat is selling coochie, so you got to be selling coochie too. And I'm just like, no, I'm just on social media. Like, I'm just bored. Like, that's just what it is.
I feel like I definitely resonate with you so heavy because, like, finding my sense of security in sex was so big for me during my teenage years.
Yeah.
Finding that sense of security, finding that maternal figure,
Yeah.
that father figure, and
Exactly.
looking for it in the wrong places. I didn't go to my counselor and say, dang, my dad in jail. No, I'm fucking on older niggas.
I was just about to say.
And I'm like, oh my God, could you show me this and teach me? What the fuck? I'm trying to
you
fuck.
look back and
I'm
you're
trying to fuck. And you like, damn, I got bodies now. It doesn't make sense. I don't feel any better. I actually feel less of myself than I actually ever had. But nobody knows because you're either A, popular, B, pretty, or C, you have your family so intact that they don't know the real you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're able to come back to that sense of purity and forget.
And just live a double life.
Yes.
You create a separate personality.
Yes.
And I feel like it all stems back to kind of like social media.
Yes.
It's hard to say it's not, but like even not social media, just technology in general, because we were like, I mean, I'm 27, so we were like, my generation, the 1997 maybe was like the last generation to have both, experience both of before technology and then technology coming into the world. Like nowadays, you can't just have your kids walk to the store at like 10 years old. I be seeing kids walking to the bus and I be looking at them like, I wish one of y'all touched these little kids. They're not even my kids, because it's like, it's so weird now. And it's like, even for kids, I was gonna bring that up. Like, how do you feel like us as adults for the next generation can better support mental health? Because I feel like people don't feel like kids go through mental health issues. People don't feel like kids experience certain emotions and experience certain trauma because they're children. And it's like, children are so innocent and so this. But that's why they're so susceptible to trauma, because they're looking at it from an innocent mindset. They don't know. Like, I do a lot of work with kids in school, and just sometimes the kids will come into school and they'll just be crying. You'd be like, what happened? And they'll tell you the craziest stories, and you would never know if you don't ask, because they're 5-6 years old. But you have to listen. So I just really wanted to know, like, what would your opinion be on how we can better put mental health programs for kids, whatever the age, in schools, or somehow us as adults or as parents can do better with making it a safer space to where the next generations, we can do it differently. We can make them feel like they can speak about mental health, or they'll feel comfortable going to therapy and speaking about their traumas and doing the shadow work and doing the healing journey without feeling like, am I weird? Am I the only person going through this? Am I the only one?
So simple. You have to make it a part of the programming very young. The same way they did it to us, we got to do it like that. So simple. Put the programming in very young. And take away the connotation attached to therapy.
Right.
Mommy, I feel crazy doing this. No, the fuck you don't.
Right, exactly.
So tell her what you're not going to tell me at 6 years old. You know what I mean? Get the comfortability right then and there. Right then and there. So at that point, there are hundreds of thousands of parents on that same shit.
Right.
All the children are comfortable. Everybody at that point is sentient. They're conscious. They're self-aware. And they can articulate themselves. They can express themselves. They can connect with people easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like just inserting that kind of programming, I would want to call it, earlier would definitely, like, I feel like that's a
solid I think solution. It starts in the household.
Definitely.
It does. It starts in the household, because
the schools are probably not going to put that in their curriculum. So
I learned that a lot of parents nowadays don't feel like it starts in the household. And I learned that working with kids and working with their parents on 2 separate platforms, of how a lot of parents are not really involved because they feel like kids are in school 8 hours a day, so that's the teacher's job to handle it for those 8 hours. And then when I get home, I'm going to do what I do. And I get a lot of people don't have the environment to really sit down and talk to their kid and sit and do homework because they have work, they have their own lives going on. But I feel like it starts at home, because you're your child's first teacher. You're your child's first friend.
Sometimes.
Not even to sound.
You're your child's
not
first
even sound.
love.
I was gonna say that. Not even sound weird, but you're your child's first love. Like when you become a parent, kids really give you that unconditional love. They don't know you. They just came out of you. They just know that you're my parent and I love you. So I feel like it does start at home. But another thing I want to touch base on before we do close out is, how do you feel us as women can make men feel more comfortable about speaking about their mental health? Because I personally feel like as women, we tend to feel like, a lot of women feel like when men open up, they can use those things against them. in later arguments, and they don't, or you're a bitch, you're a pussy, or you're too sensitive, you're too open. So I feel like, how do we feel like we can make men feel more comfortable to speak on their trauma, so that way in relationships, when we're getting to know each other, we can help each other work through our own traumas. We can help each other become better people. We can help each other get past what we're going through. Just like how you said how your boyfriend responds to you. A lot of men won't respond like that. Girl, you gonna kill yourself? All right, bitch, fuck you. Hit me up later. He gonna be on Tinder tonight.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I probably would have said something like that. Like, if you always do it, I'm gonna be like, yo, what, like
a lot of
like, why you keep saying that?
She just wild.
Yeah, like, you just want attention. Like, stop, like, that ass.
I feel like, I don't know. I definitely feel like I make it easy for my boyfriend to share with me, because, like, I'm exemplary. Like, I wear my traumas on a sleeve.
Right.
Like, I'll tell him exactly what has my day fucked up. If my PTSD started to PTSD, I'll let him know exactly what triggered me, what memory came to mind.
Right.
He'll try to talk me through it. I usually don't like to talk through it because I'm not trying to go back to that place. I'm more or less just trying to acknowledge what I'm seeing, hearing, feeling, and coming back to the present moment, which is with him.
Right.
So I feel like just by being exemplary, speaking and being expressive, and making sure that you're not judgmental.
Right.
I'm not judgmental. I am a little abrasive with my words.
Right.
I'm very blunt. So if something catches me off guard, I might say something snarky, but it's coming from a place of surprise. It's not coming from a place of, like, resentment or anything like that. It's because I'm literally caught off guard. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then I'll be like, okay, it happened a while ago. I understand. I'm really sorry that happened. Let's talk about it. Let's work through it. How is this affecting you today, and how you're showing up for our relationship?
Right.
Type shit.
That's beautiful. And I think that's a big part about a relationship too. Like, that's like a form of therapy. Y'all being able to tell each other how your day was and help each other through it.
Your person is supposed to be your safe space.
Yeah.
Literally, what's the point?
That's where the 50-50 comes in too. It's not just about finances.
It's not.
50-50 is so many different
because
aspects
a lot
of
of
the umbrella.
times I had to tell my boyfriend, like, you cannot compensate emotionally when we argue about things. You can't ask me what I want from this website, or do this and do that,
right,
and book this and book that. I don't want that. I need emotional support.
Right.
I need you to show up for me, touch me, listen,
right,
be present, actively eye contact, hear me, ask me questions back. Like, I need that emotional engagement.
Right. Yes.
Like, I need that. And so he's really been working on that. And
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I love that.
How about you, Tia?
It's really about communicating. I'm really learning how to be more. I'm hyper independent. So I'm like, I don't need a man for anything. I don't need it. Like, so
I'm coming with my own table.
Yeah. And it's also like, I got it. I could take care of it. I could do that. I could do this. And I'm coming now from a place of, you don't got it. Coming from a place of, okay, you do need people. You do need to have these conversations. And I find that when you have the conversations of, listen, I'm having a messed up day today, that's when it comes back, like, now be able to have different conversations of, you know what, yeah, I experienced that. This is how you can make it better. Right. And sometimes that's what a man needs to know, like, he can make it better. Like, most men want to make it better, but they just don't know how. They don't know how. Yeah, so it's like sometimes they just need that, okay, I got you. And it's like, it's a whole new world sometimes dealing with.
How about you?
I feel like it all starts with yourself, and in order to make other people comfortable, you have to be comfortable with yourself.
Right.
And you can't, like, shut down the other person when they do open up.
Right.
But yeah.
All right, so you about to wrap it up. Before we wrap it up, anybody have like a exercise or something, like any meditating exercise that we could all do before we leave?
You want to take some deep breaths?
Let's do it. You got to lead us off. How are we gonna do it?
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay. You want to close your eyes? Okay.
Real quick.
Inhale on 3. 1, 2, 3. use all your energy to just inhale. 1, 2, 3. And exhale.
That was so beautiful.
And a tip for that too, when you're inhaling, I learned, you have to feel it in your gut. Your shoulders shouldn't raise.
Oh, my shoulders was raised. They
Mine
on
too.
They on my ears. They on my
If
ears.
you do this, no,
Alright,
because
John.
if you do this when you take a deep breath, you're
Trauma.
you're not
All right, we
clenching
gonna
the
wrap it
core.
up though. But thanks for tuning in. It's Rich.
Star Biggity Banks.
Icy cat.
T.
Naya.
Thanks for tuning in.